I'm low. Oh, I'm low. There we go. Hi. I'm late. Sorry.
3:30 p.m. Let's go grab a glass of water. And why don't you go wash your hands?
I was trying to start after that went off. I forgot if it went off at 3:45 or 3:30. Hilarious. Okay, well, perfect. Hello and welcome to the Crystal Library. So sorry that things are what they are. I don't know. But we're here for abs today. Really excited because I forgot a lot about the abs. The reason I was late actually was I was taking notes on the ab lesson because I have to watch it before you watch it so I can actually help you understand it because I forgot everything. So before we begin, just to let you know, things are all about anatomy here, but we usually can talk about other stuff. If you want a buddy to help you learn anatomy, that's what I'm here for. Reviewing all of Proko's material after 5 years of learning it, digesting it, and sitting with it, and now going back and remembering everything I forgot. So if you have questions as we go through the human body, let me know. I'm here to hopefully answer some questions, and we can make, feedback and offer conversations if you have lessons or things you want more clarity on. Anything regarding anatomy, for now, is what this channel is all about. For now. So anyway, I won't waste your time. Let's not mince words and just jump in, because as soon as we start, I'm not stopping. So I'll be a little quieter so you can hear the lesson. So let's watch all the stuff so we know what to draw, and then we can actually get moving. So Proko, take it away. I'm gonna be a little quieter now. Enjoy the abs.
Hey, I'm Stan Prokopenko. Welcome to another episode of Proko. Every action figure needs a good set of abs. Let's learn the anatomy so we know how to invent and idealize them. What and where? You might know them as abs, and depending on your physique, you can call it a six-pack or a keg. Chances are you already know something about the six-pack, but let's go over the basics anyway. A six-pack is comprised of 6 12-ounce cans of your favorite beer. It's commonly used at The rectus abdominis is a long, flat, rectangular muscle that sits on the front of your torso. It originates off the pubic crest and travels all the way up to your chest. It inserts onto the anterior costal cartilage of your 5th, 6th, and 7th ribs, and the xiphoid process. The rectus abdominis is one of the 4 muscle layers of the abdominal wall. Each muscle pulls at a different angle, allowing the torso to move in any direction. The function of the rectus abdominis is to flex the spine or bend the torso forward. So, as the abs compress, the insertion point at the rib cage moves closer to the origin at the pelvis. However, if the rib cage is fixed in place, the pelvis will move up toward the rib cage. When neither is fixed, they can be brought together. The intersections. The rectus abdominis is nicely outlined for us by tendons. There's the linea semilunaris on the outside, the linea alba, also known as the center line, and the horizontal tendinous intersections. These tendons appear as shallow grooves on the form. When you work out, the muscle tissue will grow and the tendons will stay the same size. This makes the furrows of the tendons deeper and more obvious in muscular people. The linea alba acts as the center line of the rectus abdominis, dividing the abs into left and right halves. During lateral bending, the linea alba only bends above the navel because it's matching the curve of the lumbar vertebrae in the back. Fat is quick to cover up the linea alba, so it's not visible on everyone. The linea semilunaris is the tendon that defines the lateral border, dividing the rectus abdominis from the external obliques. It's just a bit narrower than the distance between the nipples. As you may remember, tendinous intersections are where tendons are embedded inside a muscle. This happens 3 times in the rectus abdominis, creating the horizontal-ish divisions. The highest division is diagonal, roughly following the downward angle of the thoracic arch. The lowest division is horizontal across the navel and is usually the most visible furrow. Above the belly button, these intersections create 6 rectangular forms known as the six-pack. But there's more. There's also this whole section below the belly button. Scott Eaton calls this the 40 ounce, which is a big bottle of beer. The vertical center line on this 40 ounce isn't as clear as on the six-pack. Usually you'll see a separation only at the top, just below the belly button.
Yeah, so. Yeah.
So.
Ooh. Yeah. Oh, so. Ooh. Oh.
Usually the intersections won't be symmetrical. The angles and separations tend to be slightly different on the two sides. And they're not always clean straight lines. They can also be C curves or S curves. The ab sections vary greatly, so it's totally normal to have an asymmetrical abdomen or genetically underdeveloped portions. So you don't need to be embarrassed about your six-pack anymore.
I know I'm not.
Depending on genetics, diet, and exercise, the rectus abdominis may appear as a 1-pack, 2-pack, 4-pack, 6-pack, 8-pack, or 10-pack.
So many packs.
So we have a premium section for students that want to learn more. The premium section has extended lessons with more information about the topic. It also has additional drawing demonstrations. If you do the assignments for each lesson, these demonstrations serve as the answers for the assignment, so you can check your work. There's an ebook version of each lesson that you can download as a PDF. Print them out or keep them on your device so you can quickly review the lessons. And finally, the premium section has 3D models that you can spin around, study, and draw from any angle. If you don't want your drawings to look like this, go to proko.com/anatomy. If you like this video, don't be all selfish. Share it with your friends. And if you want to be updated about new videos, click this button or go to proko.com/subscribe.
Okay. Pause. No! No, we're not doing that right now. Although I would love a few more minutes to finish eating. You know what? Yeah, real quick. I have to finish my food real quick. Let's go ahead and bounce to the next lesson. I was going to save this for next time, but why not? 5 more minutes won't kill you, right? Proko's, he's got you covered for 5 more minutes.
Hello, I'm Stan Prokopenko. Welcome to Proko. This is part 2 of drawing the abs.
Wonderful.
Make sure to watch part 1 where we learn about the anatomical
show you.
structure of the abs.
There we go.
Now let's move on to form.
That was almost so
A
scary.
classic idealization of the abs in profile resembles the letter B.
Oh, okay.
It starts with an upward plane bulging outward over the ribs. Then it curves back in until it hits the 40 ounce. Sometimes you'll see a flatter plane here. Sometimes it will keep curving inward.
Good job.
But usually it will be recessed in some way before the 40 ounce bulges outward and then back in toward the pelvis.
Okay, cool.
Sometimes instead of a B, you'll see the letter C. One flowing curve from the ribcage to the pelvis. The shape will change depending on genetics, lifestyle, or whether the person is flexing or relaxing. When drawing females, you can play up a violin shape in the abdomen, keeping all the transitions graceful and round.
It's very exaggerated, but yes.
On females, you're much less likely to see a clear six-pack in a relaxed pose.
Unfortunately.
It's possible, just less likely. I touched on it before, but I want to remind you about how the abs modify the appearance of the thoracic arch. And before I continue, I want to clarify how I use these 3 words. Skeletal arch is the shape created by the bones and cartilage of the rib cage. Greek arch is the shape created by the bones and top pair of abs. I'll explain this in a second. Thoracic arch is either one of these, whichever is seen on the surface of the body you're drawing. Okay, let's talk about the Greek arch.
Oh, sorry.
The top pair of abs starts above the skeleton arch and ends below. So the form of this top pair will cover the top border of the rib cage. It softens the sharp skeletal arch of the ribs into the slightly lower and rounder Greek arch. Here's a great example of a skeletal arch, and here's an example of a Greek arch.
Stunning.
When you see this curve on a Greek sculpture, that's the bottom border of the top pair of abs, not the border of the rib cage. The main thing that gives us away is the placement of the xiphoid. On the skeleton, the xiphoid is located below the sternum and below the corner of the skeletal arch.
I feel it.
That would place the skeletal arch here on this sculpture. This line has to be the abs. Motion.
Okay, you're not gonna. Good job. Okay.
Of course, how the body is twisted and bent will affect the forms of the abs as well.
I'm gonna pause
When
real
you-
quick. The premium lesson had a cadaver in it. I was a little scared. Just letting you know. There's some good stuff over there. It's 20 extra minutes long. But, yeah, anyway. Go get that info if you really want it. Go get that knowledge.
You bend forward by flexing the abs, they will shorten and inflate. Here it is on a model. Allowing gravity to continue the forward bend farther bunches the abs like an accordion. Depending on how deep the bend is, the skin will start to fold and cover the forms of the abs around the level of the belly button. During extension, the muscle and fat stretch and flatten out. The form of the abs is thinned and wrapped over the rib cage, causing bony landmarks like the skeletal arch to become more visible. Lateral bending won't affect the abs much, just curving them a bit. Finally, inhaling fills the lungs, causing the abdomen to protrude. Exhaling slims the abdomen, but anyone who's ever taken a gym selfie knows that.
You're not holding.
It's not just exhaling that slims the waist. When you suck in your stomach, that's mostly the transversus abdominis
God.
muscle, which we'll go over in the premium episode, belly buttons and more. Assignment. Your assignment for this week is to do some quick sketches of models in various poses. Make sure to focus on the motion and form of the abs. Sometimes, to show the forms, it might make sense to indicate some tone. But don't go overboard. The assignment is not to spend hours rendering a single pose. It's to do a lot of quick studies. Sometimes an indication of a core shadow with the right shape and edge will be enough to indicate the form. If you're new to shading, skip it for this exercise, since it will be a distraction. So we have a premium section
Okay,
for
we
students.
already heard this. Thank you, sir. Give me some Animal Crossing now. Boop. Yay. Alrighty. Let me see. Can you hear that? I'll make it a little louder. A hair louder. Doo-doo. Oh, that's a really good time for that button up here. You should press that. I wouldn't mind, but it's okay if you can't. Only if you're able to. $1 extra or 1 penny a day does help a lot, but if you can't, you can't. It's okay. All right. Oh God. Sorry. Well, there it is. Hello, welcome back. So, real quick, I'm gonna just put a timestamp down for where we left off. About 14 minutes in. Cool. Okay. Sorry. There's so much on my screen. Okay. Yeah. Alrighty. So, welcome to the Crystal Library proper. Now that we actually have the information that we're going to be using, let's doodle. Let's do things. You may notice there's a furry creature behind me. There's a Neko in the back. His name is Peppa. He's a cinnamon roll, sleepy boy right now. But because I started a little later, my goal is to. Natasha, welcome. Yeah, the crab for real. The crab is a serious like vibe. Welcome. Hello. Yeah, I'm so excited. So here's something I wanted to say right now off the bat. I wanted to amend what I did last week, which was we did breasts, lady parts, But also, I think the challenge I'm going to do going forward is these gestures are supposed to be quick, right? Obviously, you're supposed to take like less than maybe 10 minutes on them, but we take our time here. At least I do. I do have a timer here that I'm going to get moving in a second as soon as it's ready to go. Actually, let me set that up so it's ready. Yeah. So ideally, because these are short gestures, they should take about 5 minutes and then we just move on. But I'm extra. So I do gesture and buns and then muscle sitting on top, which makes a full 25-minute gesture, which would ideally not be realistic if we were doing this in a class setting. The assignment for this project or this section is to do just gestures. So I'm going to try that. And then maybe one will embellish a little bit longer. So I think what we'll do is we'll do one 5-minute gesture, and then the one after that we'll do 2. The second one will be a full-on 25-minute gesture where I do a little bit longer, take more time to, really lock down the form, and then actually put the proper abs on top. And I wanted to also say, these were done when I first learned this lesson in 2021, and I'm real happy with them. But I also took as long as I wanted on them. So the challenge is to get at least somewhat close to what I did before, but under a stricter time limit. Because again, if we can get somewhat close to the same thing with a timer, that's growth. Growth, baby. Now, last but not least, I would also want to say, the second part of each of these lessons, ideally, would be a challenge for me, where I flip the model around and I try to draw I try to imagine. Oh, KK Slider's rocking out, but it's a little distracting. Sorry. 1 second. Maybe that's a little bit easier on your ears. The ideally second part of each lesson would be me doing the same gesture but flipping it in my head. So imagination would be the goal. And I was timing myself for those, but that didn't prove to be very efficient. The last couple of streams that I did that, it's hard, which is a good challenge, but I didn't really get anything done, and I didn't have anything to show. So I think, at least while I'm still getting my feet wet and figuring it out, I'm not going to time myself for the flip gestures. I'm going to just time myself for the pictures we're looking at. Because that's really, really hard. But it was a great challenge, and I do want to try it again later. But, and it also is very counterproductive if we're drawing the flip version of the model, and the focus is abs. If I'm drawing the back of you, it's not going to be abs. It's just going to be back. So we gotta take our time and pace ourselves. So anyway, crabs aside, let's pick up gesture. So I believe you guys decided I can't show it for whatever reason on my computer. It doesn't show up, but on my phone, you picked this gentleman. The guy who's sitting down and he's hanging out. I don't know if you can see him, but it's hang on. It's this guy. So that's the number 1 pick at the top of the list. The runner-up is what we were gonna do next week. So I'm gonna do one more because I'd like to at least do some sort of justice to the homework assignment, which is gesture only. So I think what we'll do is we'll do another random gesture. I'll just pick one unless somebody convinces me now in the next 30 seconds. In the poll, which you have access to on my channel. And if you want to go influence my decision now, I will do a gesture and then one more other than that. So neither of the crab ladies are on the list that I gave you because I'm pretty happy with these crabs. I don't really want to try that again because I feel like anything I do will not be better than this. I feel really good about these. So I wanted to challenge myself to do the ones that I didn't feel like were as strong. And the gentlemen don't really get as much attention. I like to draw the ladies because there's more curves to play with. S curves and C curves are more fun. Gentlemen are more rigid. You can have C curves and gestures in there, but it's just more fun. For me, anyway. So I thought I would tackle the gestures that weren't as strong my first pass, and we'll try that again. So, anyway. Rock out. I thought, let's begin with, it's between this lady, well no, she's not the runner-up. It's between this lady and this guy. These two were chosen for next week. So I think we'll do this guy today. And then if anybody decides to change my mind, we'll do this lady next week. But other than them, these two are up for grabs. This gentleman holding onto a bat, I think. He's got a bat in his hand. And this lady hunching over. Last but not least, I should also add, I know I do a lot of talking in the beginning because as soon as I start drawing, I will not talk. So I want to make sure we get all this stuff out of the way. This is not the full picture. If you want the full picture, the entire vision, or the full gesture for this assignment, you gotta go to Proko's website and go get it. Which, link in the description. Obviously, the picture that he offers is not censored. I have nothing but censored images to show you today. So if you want to see the full uncovered picture, you gotta go over there and get it. This lady has legs. This gentleman has a full-on torso and legs underneath. I would strongly suggest go get the pictures if you want to do it with us. So anyway, this is just for you to see what we're drawing, but I'm referencing a whole nother picture. So if you see me adding legs that you don't see, that's why. Okay. So without further ado, I think, unless anyone has any questions for me, besides the fact that the lovely Natasha is here to join us, thank you so much. And also, yes, you can type !Discord/Patreon to get any extra goodies and stuff if you want. All of the secrets that I hold live in there. Not really. I give most of them to you, but you can pay for some more. I wouldn't mind. I'd be very grateful. Money is tight right now, but it's hard for everyone, so I don't want to even pressure you. Just if you can, it would be great, but don't worry about it. Okay, so where is my timer? One more moment. Let me find out. Oh, I have so many tabs open. Oh my god. Is it here? No, we can get rid of the Proko. Goodbye. It's here. Here we go. I gotta connect some of these guys. Let me get my timer set up. There we go. Now I can put it in the right place. And alrighty. Is we ready to doodle? Get your pens out, get your tablets ready. Whatever you decide to draw, we're drawing this gentleman right now who's gonna be standing with his bat. We're doing a 5-minute gesture just for practice. Here he is. And then we'll do the same gentleman sitting down, and that'll be our full-on long pose. So let's see. Make sure we're ready. Let's actually look at my first attempt at this man. Where is he? Oh, you ready to doodle? All right, Natasha's drawing with us. Awesome, fantastic. I don't expect you to talk at all while we're doing this, so if you're drawing and you're focused, don't respond, it's okay. All right, here he is. See, this gentleman has legs, so go get the legs. They're very good. Alrighty, but just know that's not censored, so this will be showing. Alrighty, beholdeth the junk. All right, let me get my layers together. This will be round 2. This was round 1. I'll also call this Proko Revisited. Now I'm ready. Alrighty. Let's get a blue and a gray and then a dark black. Alright. I have a single egg roll here. That will be my reward for when we finish this gesture, and then we'll finish it after we finish the long gesture. And then it'll probably be dinner. And then I get to hang out with my ma'am and my cats and watch the Olympics. Yay! So let's get started. Yeah, I'm gonna stay seated. I'll stand up for the second one. I'm a little eepy today. So here we go. Where's my glove? Where's my glove? There's my glove. I found it. Alright, we'll compare notes after, Natasha. So if you have questions, ask me now. Otherwise, we're gonna get started. And of course, if anyone has questions for me throughout, you are welcome to ask me, but I will not be able to respond until we finish. So here we go. Pen in hand. Let me make sure we're ready. Alright. Whoa! Here we go. Starting timer in 3, 2. It's gonna take a second to get started, but we're ready. Here we go. Do your best, no judgment, except come what may. Here we go. There we go. Alrighty, timers are ready. Here we go, y'all. Have fun. 2, 1. Where's my pen? Wait, where's my pen? Wait, where's my pen? Oh my god, don't do that. I'm on a timer. Okay. Here we go. Let's see. Where's your torso, my guy? There it is. I see it. Nice, strong, straight there. There's your hand. Okay. Where are your legs? Where's your head? Let's just block everything out right now. Okay. Middle of the neck. Let's see. Right there. Hip. Hip. There's a beautiful curve happening in his torso here. I'm going to draw a nice like egg. Okay. I'm going to just go for a generic kind of torso here. I want to get that squash and stretch because he's kind of leaning. There we go. Where's your belly button, dude? There it is. I want to find that. Okay. There he is. Alrighty. He's got traps for days. Strong arm. Straight arm, actually. It's curving out. The negative space would be coming in. Alright, this is already very messy. I'm not going to worry about his legs. We don't care about legs today. We're here for abs. Make that the focus. Oh gosh. We already lost a whole minute. Where's your head, my guy? There we go. Make some space for his head. Alrighty. Now, nips, where are they at? Yeah, yeah. This is why we practice one round first. We learned all about the pecs last time, so now we gotta get them in to find the abs. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna make another layer so I can clean this up. Even lighter. Okay. Let me see. Alright, abs. There's your hips. There's a beautiful crest curve right there that tells me exactly where they are. Yep. Line gets narrower, follows that curve. Nips right here. So the abs would actually be a little smaller here. And there's my beautiful Greek arch. Belly button right about there. A little bit higher. Yeah. Okay, arm one. Where is it? Let's find it. I see all pec right here. Beautiful pec. Let's see. There's an arm. There's the other arm. Cut off. Torso. Actually, yeah, the torso is cut right around there. So all of this beautiful bicep comes in nice and sharp. Dun, dun, dun. Nice and strong, straight in that arm to give me that weight. Okay, and then I just want to accentuate a little bit of hippage just to see that lean. My God, time to go fast. Oh no. This is a good one, but I'm glad we're not starting with this. This is a mess. He doesn't even have a head. Gosh. Where is your head, dude? There it is. Alright. Let's see. Let's just block it in first. He's got a big old lumberjack beard. Schnoz? Very much looking at us dead on. Okay. There's something there, but it's not really clear. abs that we didn't put in, so that's fine. Real quick. 10 seconds. Give me those abs. You can tell I'm really, really bad at drawing quick. Oh man, that's rough. Yikes, that's really rough. I can't even see it. I'm glad this is our starting point because we can't really, not very clear at all. Very unclear. But I do appreciate that I can still somewhat see that squash and stretch in the torso. I did feel good about that. That is what I wanted. Beautiful curve, beautiful straight to oblique, and then, yeah. So, in a way, as messy as this is, I got most of them in there, and then we could have finalized that later. Okay, alright. It's a mess. It's a mess, but where is everything? It's not accurate. There's definitely like some missing, there's definitely not enough space on the right here to give his pec some more juice room. This angle I missed. Yeah, there's a little more lean. But in all things considering, first round, not bad. Not bad. Alright, let's call this round 1, 5-minute practice gesture. Alrighty. Take a couple of seconds to stand up and shake your leggies out. Look outside your room for a minute. If you're sitting down, stand up if you can. I'm gonna start our timer over, so we're ready for the full lesson. Let's try this again. This will be the full picture. Where is my timer? I always forget where I put it. Here we are. I'm gonna move you over here so I can see it. Oofda. Alright. So, now is the time. If there's any questions that we may have, ask away. Otherwise, I'm gonna stand up. And also look outside my room and see a bird or two, perhaps. This will be a longer one, so once we sit back down, we're locked in. Okay? I'm gonna take a bite of my egg roll that my lovely man made for me. Enjoy some Animal Crossing for a hair or two. I'll be right back. Not disappearing, so I'm not gonna go to my BRB screen. Enjoy the pepperoni sitting in bed. I'll be right back. Let's assume that we haven't been sitting at our desks for the last 20 minutes. Now we can move our bodies a little bit. Standing up actually gives me more room to do gesture. It gives my shoulders some more space. Shake out the hands and stuff. Alright. First pass, rough and dirty. Real ugly. But don't hate it. I can see all the things that are there. It's real rough, but I can see it. So now let's try the main course today. Here we go. Alright. Natasha, you gotta give yourself more credit, honey. I know it seems like it's impossible in the very beginning, and it does take a minute to get there, trust. I suck at drawing fast. I don't like it. That's why we're here. To practice. But if you can't make mistakes anywhere else, that's why we're here. You are also welcome to put your work in the Discord, and I'm happy to look at it if you want to talk about it before we start this next round. But it's up to you. We can only grow if we give ourselves some chances to learn from other people. If you want feedback, I'm here for that. But you take your time. But golly gosh, the world is going to end because you are going to get better at this. So I truly hope that you take your time doing that. But I'm here to cheer you on, and hopefully the world will keep spinning after you make that torso look a little better. But, we're also our own worst critics. It's probably not as bad as you think. I'm going to take one more lucky bite while you decide to answer. If you choose to keep it to yourself, though, no pressure, no problem. I'm just here if you want some feedback. I know it's just us right now, so no pressure. We're a little tiny right now, but hopefully that'll grow. Alright. And by the by, can you actually see the gentleman He's real small, so hopefully you can see him.
To all the ladies
With grace.
with grace, grace.
I can't really make him much bigger because it'll take up too much space on my screen, but maybe that'll be a hair better. That's about as good as I got. Any more and he'll destroy my room. Okay, so let's see what to think about when we make this next gesture. What's our plan of action? Well, first of all, let's see. What did I do? What to do? This is our first time doing this, gentlemen. I got that squash and stretch kind of in there. This one I feel good about, but he's definitely not that curvy. I do like curves, so he's a little more angled and a little more upright in his torso, and it goes a bit more narrow in than I had him. So he's leaner than I got him. He's still built in my version, but he's got, you know, there's some chisel to him downstairs. That and, you know, all of these muscles we haven't even discovered yet. So quads, don't worry about those. Biceps, triceps, and biceps, don't worry about those. We're here to focus on this junk today, which is really hard to see in this tiny version. So I would still suggest go getting those pictures and making them bigger for you. Meanwhile, let's see. Where is he? I passed him. I have him on my other screen, blown up, which I can't show you because he's got nothing on. So I can't show you that. Yeah, I think our plan of attack, in a weird sort of way, what I would suggest for this picture, using the line from the, can you see my mouse? Hopefully you can see it. I can make it bigger, but it'll be really distracting later. So, using the line from the shoulder to the nipple to the belly button is actually really helpful using that curve. That angle is kind of how you build the triangle of the torso. And then going upright, I use the hip bones right here in the front, the pizzas, posterior iliac crest points in the front of the hips, to the nape of the neck, the base of the neck. So you kind of create, I can't do it right now, but let's see. Notes. I kind of talked about it last time. Let's see. This angle, where is it? Yaw to yaw. And then contrast that to this angle. Yaw to yaw. Starts to form the curves of the torso. And then you can kind of fill in everything else. Ribcage sits on the outside. This also is a great sharp angle if you have the whole body accessible to you, seeing the pelvis line to the triangle that makes the pubic synthesis, the pelvis, and then lastly, of course, the shoulder line. So all in all, you can kind of already start to see the gesture, even with just these straight angles, how he's leaning. So the Tarzan loins, the girded loins, the shoulder line, the pelvis to the shoulders, and then the hips to the neck. Those are the torso lines I like to establish in the very beginning. And then after that, we kind of find everything throughout. And then last but not least, of course, finding your curves in the center line. And everything should follow this line. So if your bodies feel a little lopsided, which is definitely what I did wrong in this one, I didn't establish my center line, so it feels a little off. It should still somewhat feel like it's symmetrical. Not symmetrical, that's not what I meant, but there's enough width on each side to make it feel like it's actually there. We tend to get longer and not width-wise. I tend to do that, at least. That's my issue. So, anyway, I think we have a plan of attack for this guy. Let's try again. Second round's gonna be longer, so ready? Lock in. Get a sip of water, stand up, do whatever you have to do. Pet your cat, pet your dog, pet your mom on the head if they're still nearby. Pet your parents. Alrighty. Second round, we're gonna go 5 2-minute break, 10 2-minute break, 10 2-minute break. So it'll be gesture for 5, bony landmarks for 10, and then lastly musculature on top for 10. And if we have time, we might do another 10-minute pass cleanup, just to look at everything. And that'll be it. So, pen in hand, bite or water has been sipped. Anything else that needs to be done, unless there's any questions? Let's see. We should make sure I'm on the right pen. Let's start with blue and work our way down to gray. Okay, I'll call these layers ahead of time because I'm definitely not going to remember to do that later. Let's do skeleton and then muscle. Okay, and let me actually capture my screen this time. Now I'm ready. I never remember to do that. So here we go. Yeah, full screen. Yeah. Da-ba-da-ba-da. Don't worry, we're not starting just yet. Just getting my screen ready. Okay. I don't see any questions from the Natasha, but we're gonna wish you luck on the second round for the male torso. You are welcome to ask as many questions as you wish while we're doing this though, but if you're drawing, don't worry about it. Focus as you need to. Okay? Save your progress. Roll up the sleeves, shake out the shoulders. Let me turn the music down just a hair because it's a little loud. Okay. Here we go, friends. Round 2. Starting in... Timer will tell you. She's coming. She's loading. She's got to take a minute to think about it. There's a pause, probably usually. Hello? I just want to make sure we're not paused. I'm going to check and then it's going to start. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Sometimes I don't know. Here we go. For realsies. Long one. Here we go. 25 minutes. And ding! Here we go. Okay. Gesture right off the bat. Where is my center line? I'm going to pick this as my neck point. Make this all the way throughout. There's my belly button. There it is. So let's connect to that. I might embellish that curve a little bit more. And where is my hip bone? Cool. Okay, now the lines I made in the picture. Let's make them real quick. Where's my curves in the hip? Where's my other hip? And then belly button is actually from the hip bones. I might find my belly button. There it is. Kind of finds it right there. And then from there, shoulder, shoulder. There we go. He's actually leaning a little lower than that. Shoulder's way over there. Yeah, that's oh, excuse me. There we go. That's better. Alrighty. And then from there, I'm going to establish where the head is early because I always forget that. Let's find it real quick. I'm going to say right around here is my nipple. And from there, about the distance from the base of the nipple to the top of the head is about the same. So about here is where my noggin is. Schnoggin! Where's his head relative to his neck? It's right in line with the nipple! Look at that! Beautiful. Tells you exactly where it is. Beautiful. Okay. From there. It's a little bit on the inside of this nipple. Yeah, we established that already. That looks about right. Okay, from there, let's find out where it stops. His head is right above the pit of his neck, which we established to be right. Let's see. Yep, that works. That tracks. A little bit above. The relationships all day long. Okay. There is his head. It's got a very long head. It's not an insult, that's a compliment. It's just, I think his beard just makes it look longer. Okay, going down, because he's looking a little bit sideways. Okay. This is already going much better so far. And there's some beard underneath that collects. Okay, nice. Now, let's see. There's a big old deltoid right there. Where's his neck? Let's see his head, his ear. There's another deltoid right there. Okay, nice. Now we can find everything else. Pecs. Where's his legs? Shoot, we should find those too. Let's see. This is a nice straight line, but I don't like straight lines, even in gesture. You can embellish it just a little bit, and then this is mostly curves. This is his pec line. Sits a little bit on the outside of that, a little below that, and we get some of that. Let's see. There's a lot of bumps and curves in here that don't really make sense yet, but we'll get to that as we get to the bottom of the body. he is. Okay. Oblique. TFL. The stuff that sits on the pocket of your leg and then his leg actually starts. Where's his leg? His torso already feels way too long. And his head feels way too short. I'm gonna step back and look at that again. Your neck is long, dude. No, your head's long. That's what it is. Let's see. His torso ends a little earlier. Let's see. I have this curve coming a little too high. I think it's a little lower. Yeah. 1 minute. Yikes! Oblique. Let's forget over. Oh, it feels like it's a little too small. No. I'm gonna give him more space. There we go. That feels better. Second oblique. Where's that muffin top sitting? He doesn't have one, but everybody has a little placement for one, so there should still be some room for it. I'm recording, yes, good. Okay. I don't have any room for legs. I should put those in. Let's just really quickly find legs. Right around here. Oh gosh, this is gonna look really bad in a second if I do any more. Let me just build a skirt for his legs. That looks really bad. Okay, well, we'll fix it later. Walk around, step back, let's see. Torso looks okay. There's already way too much space for his legs. Way too much space. He has no arms yet, but I wanted to lock in the torso, because that's the thing that we're really going to be working with. Yeah, I'm working on my stuff too. I'm not perfect, no one is, but I know for a fact this is way too long. So let's see. Mostly torso. About a third of his torso is the distance between his legs and the bottom. So let's make that even shorter. There. That's where his leg stops. That's way too much. I'm gonna just adjust things. We could use this timer to break, or we could keep working. I'm gonna choose to keep working. Unless I'm really happy with a gesture, I don't think I'll ever not use this break. Alright. I just want to get the placement of his legs in. Golly, timers suck. Okay. Let's see. And yeah, I'm not thrilled with this yet either, but it's coming. There's some stuff you can't really see unless you have the full image, but let me get this guy's crotch in. Where's your crotch? I have this line. There we go. So that would be where a leg starts. And then meanwhile, let's also take that line about there. This leg is foreshadowed. It's foreshortened, I mean. So let's use that to our advantage. Draw some foils. That's how I find anything. We're about to start. 10 seconds in. Now he has legs. He doesn't have arms, but he has legs. Okay. They look really bad right now. Just two noodles. Alright. Now would be the time to find some bones. So, let's actually give him arms and then we can build our bones in there. Oh gosh, this is messy. Okay. I'm not in love with this gesture yet, but it's coming. Meanwhile, this gun, I think, is the main reason why it's so hard to build his arms out, because he's using a prop. Props make it extra challenging. Good challenge, but makes it harder. Okay, let me do this. I'm gonna use this, let's see, the pec line. It's much straighter, curvier here. You learned all about the pecs. They're stretched because his arms are above his head. There's a big old lat right there. This guy is built to the nine. Stunning specimen. I have this way too high. I see. There's not enough room over here. That might help. Some more space. Gosh, if I could. At some point I want to be able to do these traditionally so I can draw them on paper, because it was extra good to practice on paper. cheating digitally is not good long term. Okay, there we go. That feels better. It feels more real now. I'm gonna just take this break to find his gesture. We can add things later. Arm. I'm not even worried about his fancy muscles yet. I'm just gonna build a tube. Negative space, does that work? No, not quite, not that much space. His head's much bigger than I have it. Okay, let's see. Nice curvy arm. And then I'm gonna just boop for the gun. Let's see. Where's his other arm? It's going back in space. This one's going forward in space. Big old elbow cut off right there. Okay. This one's coming forward. Alright. There's a hand in there somewhere. I'm not even gonna worry about that right now. There's just a hand. Okay. And his other hand, thumb. Okay. For now, that'll have to do. Now let's actually put some muscles and bones in here. So let's put this away. Make that a little bit lighter. We spent about 5 minutes doing that. So now, muscles. I'm sorry, bones. Ribcage, where is it? I see it. Right here. There's a beautiful thoracic arch right about there. Could embellish that more, but I want to find his ribs. Where's the base of his ribs? Around here. This is mostly serratus hiding them, but I can kind of see something there. Okay, his rib cage ends up here. Egg for now. Okay, there's the torso, there's the manubrium. It's up here that I see manubrium. The pokey thing in the center of your rib cage. There we go. Okay, pelvis. Just to find it, I'm using the curves, the big, very obvious skin lines to find the parts where skin and muscle connect to bone. So right around here, there's not that much space between ribs and pelvis. And it should be crunchy on this side, so it's even closer. I have way less space. There's a little less space than I have here. Might actually adjust the gesture a bit because as I'm finding the bones and realizing new connections, new relationships, it's a little bit shorter. So let's adjust our torso. To be a little closer. Yeah, a little bit narrower. That feels better. Okay. Height-wise, I feel like he's still a lot more in the torso than I have. There's a little bit less leg to him than I gave him. Okay. Again, focus on you. I'm just talking out loud, don't mind me. Pelvis sits way up here. Let's build my bucket. Here's where the grooves are. Alright, I can start to see where abs are going to come in because they sit right at the bottom of the pelvis. Nice strong lines right here. Okay. Looks like a straight line, but that's actually a curve. There's the angle of the pelvis coming at me. I'm going to take it down, or about there. Going down. Oh, there we go. Okay. How much time did we waste? Oh, 7 minutes. My god. Alrighty. Now, let's see. What else do we need? I don't really need anything else. The shoulder would be nice. Let's, I guess, put a clavicle in there. Because his arm is raised. And that tells me exactly where... Oh, the acromion process sits. All these delicious muscles that I now understand their origin and insertion points. But can I illustrate it so you do? That is the question. There's a bit more girth to that. Really, a lot of this doesn't matter until we get to other muscles, but still, I want to be able to find it on him. There's the angle of the acromion process. There it is. Take a step down on the ladder to get to the scapula, which connects around there somewhere. Drawing the scapula for whatever reason on the opposite side. It just looks wrong. Okay. Flip-a-doo. Arm. Let's see. I see an elbow. I'm gonna try to find it at this angle. There's a hammer in here. Oh, but what the angle of the hammer is the question. We don't really need this. I just want to be able to find it. I'm not even going to begin to try to figure out the forearm bones because they're overlapping and that's going to take more time that we don't need. We're focusing on abs right now. Elbow, though, is going back in space, receding. Ever so slightly foreshortened. I see a very clear elbow right here. Block it in. It's going to follow the same spot. Too fancy. I don't need to worry about this right now. I know. Okay, well, we found most of them. Me, I guess I can find one real quick. It's sitting on the bottom. Bless you, sir. Did you hear my cat sneeze? Okay, man. 1 minute. Where the heck does the femur connect? Let's see. There's an epicondyle, there's an epicondyle. Oh, if I were to connect that, there's the hip bone. No, that's not right. There we go. Something like that. Oh, it's really rough, but we're not meant to be perfect, we're meant to be quick. Accurate and quick. Okay, take a break or keep going. I'm gonna keep going. Alrighty, there's most of him. He should probably start to feel a little bit more real, but you know, it's rough. Alright, I'm gonna take a minute to look away from the screen for a moment. Your girl is sore. Went dancing last night. Oh my gosh. Not at a club. African dance class. Don't get excited. And on that note, I'm actually going to take my sweater off. Ew. So let's see. He's actually kind of in there. His torso is much longer than I have him. And I do feel like that'll be amended once we put the skin on top. This is not quite time for contours though. Now is the time for muscles. So let's get ready for those. Contour can come last. Red. Block it in. I'm gonna make this a little bit more pronounced. There we go. My skeleton can be a little more hidden. Let's say 75. Okay, Natasha, how you doing? If you're still alive, let me know. Take a sip of water. Okay, we found most of him. Let's start with the abs, the coup de grace. Where's the shadow coming from? It's coming from the top right. This way. So I want to make sure our cast shadows make sense. Nothing should come from this direction except for reflected light. Alright, about 15 seconds remaining before we get into musical. And this will be our final session for the day. Alrighty, good luck y'all. Here we go. Kiss your brush in your hand, good luck. Bones! Now, be gone with you. I care about what's on top. Peck! Right there. I want this nice and thick and pronounced so I can see it. Okay. There's a... Oh, beautiful xiphoid there. Okay, abs. Off the bat. The abdominal wall goes narrower as it grows from the pec. So here's the base of the pec. It's very lightly faded because we can't really see it. But here's our lips. They're good landmarks. So from in there, a bit in, and then grow it down to find the inner curve. Okay? From there, I can now trace the lines I see. So where is his center line? Well, first of all, where's your belly button, dude? We deduced right there. It's flattened because it's overlapped by some skin. Beautiful. Lots of curves there. Skin is making a connection with muscle. I can't talk right now, I can't see it, but I will hopefully look in a moment. I hope you're doing okay, and I hope you didn't give up on it too fast. Don't give up. You gotta keep trying. But it's also an act decision to go, nope, this is not the one, and just try again from scratch. Alright, from there, where is my center line? There it is. Okay, from there, I'm gonna find the first two abs. They sit at an arch near the top. Second curve is a little bit more pronounced because this guy's got some muscle on him. And then we get to the base of the abs. And earthbound. Yes.
Let's go.
Alright. And then last but not least is this extra little flat fold that can sit on top of all of that, where the actual pelvis sits. So there is a little invisible line where your hips meet muscle. Okay, now we can actually start to shade this guy. I think we can put some muscle on top. Let's put a contour in now. Let's see our muscle. That feels good. And then I promise I will take a moment to answer questions. I want to see what you guys said. Sorry. Where is his? There's a pec that becomes a much lighter line there. Okay, core shadows will help you find everything else. More dense shadows as we get closer down. Shadows are going to continue down this way. I don't want them to be completely uniform because that's boring. I'm going to squint in this whole line I see, one curve. There we go. Ooh, some chrono trigger in there as well. Very nice. Okay. Peck. I see a core shadow that's very light, but that reflected light tells me more of where the actual pec starts. There we go. Alrighty, I promise I will look in a moment after this pass. I will take a look. If there's any thoughts to be had, now is the time to share them. Or maybe make this a little bit less pronounced. Okay, looks good. Now we can find the rest of him. Okay, first of all, does this make sense relative to everything else? I see a very sharp cast shadow right there, and a very smooth and soft core shadow right here. this is where all of this can start to make sense. So let's see. This is pec. And from there we get into the overlap of arm. I don't want the arm to take away the attention of the torso though. Keep it light. Actually, nice straight for the tricep. Show me that delicious deltoid where a gun is sitting on top of it. Overlap that bad boy. And then we get to bicep, which is all of this junk right here. And that can kind of fade into the rest of the contour that we made before. Working around everything, now I can find him. And I do feel like I didn't give him enough pec, not nearly. Because I had him way over here, but if we look relative to the pec, it's closer in. It starts like right here. All this lat. And he grows out. Let's see. Oblique. Relatively, maybe a straight there. Yeah. And then that becomes the leg muscle. All that will make sense when we get to it in due time, my friends, in due time. Okay. Now for him on the other side. Here's where all of our hard work pays off. Now that everything's in, we can just put the contour in how he's built. Serratus. Build our way in, nice straight right there to love handle, and then this becomes thigh. Look at that. Okay. Might soften that just a smidge. Alright. Kinda. Arm. Armpit I never understand. Also, his pec is way too far. Yeah, that's way too far. Oh, Celeste. Oh, yes. Good Celeste vibes. Okay, that feels better. Really isn't the time for hatching. He never actually had a head to begin with. I should give him one. Where's your chin, my guy? Where's your neck, my guy? There it is. Oh yeah, this is really fitting. We're almost to the summit. Okay. This is all trap. Goodness gracious. Beautiful specimen this man is. Alright, and then it gets eaten by gun. What a sentence that is. Back muscle. All of this is pec. There's delt. Oh yeah, okay. See, I see it. There he is. He's coming into focus. Oh my god, oh man. Where's your head? I gotta find his head. Oh, where's your nose, dude? What a schnozola it is, too. Beautiful. Right around. Yeah. From there. Eyes. Very good, intense eyes. I don't really care about the eyebrows much, but I want to give him something. And he has lips. We should find those. This is not my best face. I'm not proud of it. Let's see. No, that's not my eyes. I don't want my eyes. No, let's just worry about the torso. Where's the outside of your face? There it is. step. And I want to find the spark where it is. Oh my god. Okay. Well, his face is amusing me. But as far as the rest of him goes, timer-wise, alright. Alright. His arm already feels way too long on that side. But you know what? That's not bad. Natasha, what did you say? Decided to do by memory. You got a decent naked dude flexing on your screen? Heck yeah, let's go! So with that, I'm going to stop the recording. We can analyze later. But for now, let's see what we got here. I consider it A+ for... Oh, excuse me, disgusting. A+ for effort. C+ for sitting there judging yourself all day long. I don't care what it looks like. At the end of the day, did you do anything? Did you try? That is why we're here. We're not here to be perfect. We're not here to be gods. None of that exists. We're here to try. And because you tried, you're a hair closer to your goal. So let's at least try, yes? Beat yourself up later, y'all. We're here to mess around and just see what happens. Alright? It's really easy to be judgmental of yourself, of course. We're all our worst critics. That's why I'm here to be your cheerleader and cheer you on and tell you, you did great. Just do what you did. Alright? So let's see. We got our guy in. The gesture kind of morphed into something. Oh, he grew a skirt. And then we gave him legs. There we go. Oh, I see what happened. We widened his torso around there. Yeah, and that made all the difference. And then we can kind of find everything inside. Yep. At least the skeleton's legible. Somewhat. All of that sitting on top doesn't matter until we know what's underneath. Okay. And then his face. Just cracks me up near the end. That's amazing. Okay, well, normally, I think this is where I would call it. I think this is a good stopping point. I just wanted to see how far we got. Does all of this make sense relative to the gesture that we had starting out? I think so. If we hide the bones... No, I'll put them back in. It looks better with the bones. Let's put the base at like 20. Let's see, 25. Okay. It's starting to happen. It's starting to happen. I don't like his face, but that's not the point. We're here for abs, and I feel alright about those. If I were to really quickly, super fast, not even doing any cleanup, I'm just gonna fill in that shadow. Yeah. That doesn't look too bad. He has no legs, but granted, you don't need to know about quads yet. There's some vastus medialis and the other two I already forgot. Lateralis, rectus femoris. There's some of that happening in there. If you really want, I can talk about it, but if we're not here for abs, if we're not here for legs, we're here for abs. We can move on. Beyond that, at the end of the day, can you see the abs at least somewhat toned and defined? Can you see where bone meets skin? That crease and that fold, I really hopefully will be better at doing that, but defining that tells me exactly where my bones are, and we can't find that unless we have some idea of where they are before. Did you capture a little bit of the arc in his spine? He's twisting, not twisting, that's not what I meant. He's leaning to the left ever so slightly. He's arcing a little bit laterally. Did you get a little bit of that squash and stretch in there? At the end of the day, if the answer is no to any of that, that's okay. But did you try? Is why we're here. So,
5 p.m. Time to start wrapping up your workday and plan for dinner.
thanks! I was on my way to doing that. Google, I told you to do that. That's okay. So, last check. I was going to ask Natasha one more time if you would like to share your art in the Discord, type exclamation point Discord. I'm happy to look at it real quick if you would like to share. but only if you want to. If you're not quite there yet, you're not brave yet, that's okay. No pressure. But that is how we grow. I will not judge anybody's work. I look at this. It's not perfect. It's not done. Nothing is. But I might clean this up off stream, and then it'll be revealed later at the end, because I don't think anybody really cares about that. But it would just be going over the base contour and redefining some of these core shadows that are could be a little stronger. The cast shadow from the gun, maybe a little bit of this crease in the hip right there. The cast shadow in the hand would do most of the heavy lifting. Once you have a shadow in, you don't really need to define it. It's up to you. And then his neck. I would like to give him eyes too. So all of that, in the next 10 minutes I might try to finalize that. But unless there's any questions for me or anybody who wants to pop in the Discord and show their work, I'm gonna dub the stream fini. And if you ever have questions, even if I'm not on stream, you can always ask me outside of stream, and I'm happy to take a look. Last but not least, final plug of the day, I did just finish a big old mega project that I'm rather happy with over on my sister channel called Crystal K25. It is only fan art there. So if you like not serious, boring studies in anatomy, which is the grunt work we do in here, so we can have fun doing whatever the heck we want elsewhere. That is where all of this hard work is going towards, and I feel really good about that painting. So if you care at all about Deltarune, bonus. But if you like just fan art, speed paints, time lapses, that's what's over there, and it took me 3 months. So 3 months painting just went up on that channel. Other than that, though, I'm gonna call it here. So I'm gonna say right now off the bat, thank you so much for joining me, everyone, and PLD, keep playing, keep loving, and keep dreaming, and I'll see you guys next time. We're going to do part 2 of the abs, which will be an imagination flip gesture, and I will not time myself for that one, because I don't want to hate myself. So, catch you next time. Thanks so much for joining me, lovelies. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Bye-bye! Ah, thank you! More coming. Good night, Natasha. Thank you very much.